The Nets' slow start. Raise your hand if you thought the New York Knicks would have a better record than the Brooklyn Nets through the first 10% of the season. The Nets are 4-4, which isn't a disaster but does reflect an uneven start. They looked unstoppable in the preseason, and then opened the regular season with dominant wins over the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. Since then, they've lost 4 out of 6 and have looked quite mortal. One of the losses was against the Memphis Grizzlies in overtime when the Nets sat their two best players, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Another came against the Washington Wizards when both Irving and Durant missed quality looks at the end of the game. The team could just as easily be 6-2. But it's not. While it is still early, the Nets have less time than usual to collect themselves, because the season is 72 games rather than the usual 82. It's also unclear when Durant, who missed Tuesday's win against Utah because of COVID-19 protocols that will keep him out for at least 7 days, will be back in the lineup. The team has not specified which aspect of the protocols prompted Durant to be held out of the game. The Nets are also without Spencer Dinwiddie, a starting guard who partially tore the ACL in his right knee on deck. 27 and is likely to miss the rest of this season after playing in just 3 games. It's a significant loss for a team with championship aspirations. Dinwiddie averaged 20.6 points per game last season and carried the team without Irving and Durant, who were injured. Coach Steve Nash clearly felt some urgency, making wholesale changes to the lineup on Tuesday against the Utah Jazz. The Nets blew out Utah, 130-96. "We were struggling," Nash said afterward. "I think we're going to continue to experiment. We have to find out who we are, what we are and where we need to improve." Start. Raise your hand. Felt some urgency, making wholesale changes to the lineup on Tuesday against the Utah Jazz. The Nets blew out Utah, 130-96. "We were struggling," Nash said afterward. "I think we're going to continue to experiment. We have to find out who we are, what we are and where we need to improve." Here is a look at what is and isn't working for the Nets so far this season. Working. The stars. Irving and Durant have been nothing short of brilliant, despite their long injury-related layoffs. Durant is averaging 28.2 points and 7 rebounds per game on 51.4% shooting from the field, close to his lofty career averages. Irving is at 27.1 points a game, far above his career average of 22.5. So far, the duo has erased any doubt that the ball-dominant All-Stars can mesh. Irving is a skilled ball handler, possibly the best Durant has ever played with, who has done good work in finding Durant in spots where he likes the ball. Not working. Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot in the starting lineup. Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot, a hard-working 25-year-old, has a nice story. Drafted late in the first round in 2016, he's now in his 4th team in 5 years. But he found a home with the Nets after some standout performances last season. Until Tuesday night, Nash had tasked him to start in place of the injured Dinwiddie. And the early results weren't good. In the 3 games with Dinwiddie in the starting lineup, which also included DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, Irving and Durant, the Nets were stifling on both ends of the floor. This lineup had a 35.3 net rating, essentially a measure of how much better this lineup was than its opposition, according to the NBA's tracking numbers. But in the 4 games with Luwawu-Cabarrot instead of Dinwiddie on the floor, the Nets were significantly worse, having a -12.3 net rating. The Nets were playing worse than their opponents with this lineup, even with Durant and Irving on the floor. Perhaps this explains why Luwawu-Cabarrot came off the bench again on Tuesday night. Since Dinwiddie's injury, the Nets have struggled defensively, whereas in the games he played, they did not. Working. Giving Jarrett Allen more minutes. So it's Luau Cabarrot's fault, right? No, not quite. He's having a solid year, averaging 8.9 points per game on 46.4% shooting, both above his career averages. This outpaces Dinwiddie, who was putting in 6.7 points per game on a dismal 37.5 shooting. Where is the problem then? It involves Jordan and Jarrett Allen. The Nets brought in Jordan, 32, before last season, even though they already had a young, promising starting center in 22-year-old Allen. Jordan was moved into the starting lineup late last season, and Nash kept him there, but the team has been significantly better offensively with Allen on the floor than with Jordan. Nash appears to have seen the light on this. On Tuesday